Come on, fight.
Take me to Warlock Mountain.
Did you hear that, Kite?
Hear what? It must be the spirit inside you.
Take me to Warlock Mountain.
I suppose we'd better do what she says.
crystal, my dear. So tell me, what did you find at Discovery Falls?
She found me. I am Kwan Atalachu, first spirit born, 1 star of 8.
Are you a Krazoa?
The Krazoa, they worship us. Their thoughts reside with us in each shrine. It is they that test you.
Who are the Krazoa?
I'm not quite sure. I found some records of an ancient civilization from before the time of the dinosaurs.
Shh! I am the first. There are 7 more that you must bring to this place.
Why should we do what you say?
It is only by the will of life that the spirit can bring peace. You will find us all. We must continue. Take me into the chamber.
this with you?
This is my friend, Fox McCloud. My mother sent us to...
Your mother sent you, did she, lad? Nice lady, your mother.
She said you'd know something about a spellstone.
A spellstone? My name is Garunda Tay. I am a spellstone guardian. Many moons in our past, Scales kept his word and did not destroy the tribe. He enslaved them instead.
What can we do?
It is up to you to find the spellstone before General Scales. I will open the mine. Remember, you must return the spellstone to me so that I may activate it for you. Good luck! I need some food.
Across the ravine you will find a most sacred treasure, the Horn of Truth. Only a true believer may cross the divide.
Thank you.